How's it going, everyone? It's Jarrell Corley, aka The Independent, back at you again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing Joe Biden's executive order made back in March regarding the government regulation of digital assets, otherwise known as cryptocurrency. And towards the end of the video, I think I may give some insights into how I feel about President Trump's recent legal debacles with the classified documents. First, let's go ahead and talk about Joe Biden's executive order. Back in March of this year, Joe Biden released an executive order urging a whole government approach to the regulation of cryptocurrency. In this executive order, Joe Biden expressed interagency cooperation. The president also outlined the respective roles each agency will play in the regulation of cryptocurrency. And the reason I'm making this video is because most of the agency responses are going to be due on September 5th, a day after Labor Day. That's about 120 days after the release of the executive order back in March. I'm going to discuss a few of the responses that the agencies were delegated to answer, and those agencies which responses I will be discussing include the Department of Treasury, the Justice Department, the Department of Commerce, and the Office of Science and Technology. So the Treasury basically was tasked with creating a report on the issuance of a central bank digital currency, otherwise known as a CBDC. The Office of Science and Technology will respond to its task of creating a technical analysis on the difficulty and likelihood of the government being able to create a CBDC. The Justice Department was tasked to create a legal assessment on whether Congress should create a new law on the regulation for the government to issue a CBDC or a central bank digital currency. The Commerce Department will give a detailed framework for the enhancement of the U.S. economic competitiveness. The Commerce Department will detail a framework for enhancing U.S. economic competitiveness and leveraging of digital assets. I think this executive order is a great thing because, as many of you may or may not know, cryptocurrency is here to stay. A lot of the major banking institutions are on board and have invested billions of dollars in this emerging technology. If you guys haven't already noticed, the Super Bowl of 2022 unleashed a huge marketing campaign by a number of different cryptocurrency companies, and ever since the emergence of these advertisements, we have seen an increased visibility of different cryptocurrency companies everywhere. You know, I was in Texas last year and I saw Bitcoin advertisements. You know, FTX has an advertisements on many sports outlets, particularly baseball, and you see Crypto.com, Coinbase advertisements popping up on all sorts of sports arenas, from basketball on to some of the other major sports networks. So I think that this is a great thing that's here to stay. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's definitely a way to send money anywhere in the world in a matter of minutes, and in some cases seconds. It's going to definitely transform and revolutionize our banking industry as we now see it. It will also create a new mechanism which is much more effective for point of sales and just receiving and sending payments for everyday transactions. As I was saying before, this technology is quite revolutionary. I mean, you even have instant settlements. You know, in particular, you know, I own a Coinbase Visa debit card, and I'm able to pay my credit card instantly using USDC, which stands for United States Digital Dollar. So basically, I buy USDC on Coinbase from my JP Morgan Chase account. The digital currency is instantly in my Coinbase account, and I turn around and pay off one of my Citi MasterCards with it. And the payments go through within a matter of minutes. Not all, you can't do that with all credit cards, but it just all depends on the vendor and whether or not they accept USDC at that speed or not. So that's an amazing thing. You may or may not know this. The technology is in the developmental stages, and it's really just, it's a game changer, guys, and it's really going to democratize money. Ideally, that is what we will see, hopefully, once this finalizes and gets through. Right now, the government is really just trying to see how they can regulate something which is based off the premise of deregulation. There's been a lot of hacks that have been going on, and I think that some sort of government regulation on the safe development of this new technology is a good thing. Let's just hope that the government doesn't screw anything up and mess up this new great revolutionary stance of technology. So that's pretty much all I will be saying on the cryptocurrency and President Biden's executive order trying to determine how the government will regulate this digital space. And now I think I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on Donald Trump's latest legal debacles with the improper storage of classified documents. First and foremost, regardless of what you think of the man, I ultimately think that this is a political play, or at least it just comes off that way. And whether or not he's guilty of anything wrong, I really want you guys to understand that the media has been talking about all of the illegal activity this man has been involved in, prior to his presidency, during his presidency, and even at the conclusion of his presidency. And one thing that I would like to point out is he hasn't been convicted of any of the charges that have been brought against him. So at this point, we have to ask ourselves, why is that the case? He's been brought up on charges. Some may say they're trumped up charges. I had to get the wordplay in there. And he has not been convicted of anything. So we have to ask, is the government is making the best use of its justice system, or is it just using it as a political tool to punish and assassinate the character of, its rivals? Now, a lot of people will point back to the mishandling of classified documents by Hillary Clinton. And here's what I want to say. And I think that this next statement is indicative of the entire political arena right now. We really have to stop using tactics that are hypocritical in nature. I really don't like using that word, but I mean, we find it convenient to utilize certain mechanisms to demonize others while we sweep the malfeasance of our championed politicians under the rug. It's just this double standard really has to stop. It's not healthy for the country. It's not healthy for a thriving democracy. And we really have to look inside and examine some of our reasons behind why we, believe or choose not to believe, or go with or go against people because of their behaviors or misbehaviors. And that's ultimately what I would like to say, on that point. So just remember, your name may not be Christian Dior. Do your own research, people. We depend on it because it's very important, people. The stake of the country relies on your ability to decipher between what's real and what's not. And at the end of the day, we have to continue to fight, to bring some advances to our democracy, to make sure that our government is best suited to what we, the people, need. Well, that concludes this video. And until next time, remember, stay informed. And don't forget, free the voters.